Folks, we are witnessing history here. You know, my thing is this, that you have to look at everything in context. When you look at these two races, when you look at these two faiths, not races, but these two faiths, you look at the Palestinians and you look at the people of Israel, you have to look at certain things. You have to understand certain things, the history, the background. One thing that I want to make clear is 5,000 years ago, Melchizedek was already the king in Jerusalem. That's Melchizedek, King Melchizedek. He was a king in Jerusalem. Now, back then, Jerusalem was not called Jerusalem. It was called Salem. So the Jeru was added later on. But he was the king of Salem, Melchizedek. And this is the same place that would later be Jerusalem, meaning the Holy Land. And guess who Melchizedek served? Who did he worship? He worshipped the Most High God, El Elyon. He worshipped him. And he even practiced the laws that were practiced by Aaron or Aaron the priest, all the Hebrew traditions. And guess who met Melchizedek? It was Abraham. Father Abraham met Melchizedek after Abraham came from the battle. So you're seeing all these biblical connections, Hebrew connections of the Holy Land from 5,000 years ago. And at the time, the Islamic race did not even exist because Ishmael was not even born during the time when Father Abraham was called Abram. When Father Abraham met Melchizedek, he was still known as Abram. And Abram, when he met Melchizedek, what did he do with Melchizedek? He gave him 10%. Folks, we know that when we go to church, we give our 10%. At least we're supposed to the church. And Abraham did this deed of giving his 10% to Melchizedek. And you know what Melchizedek did? Melchizedek blessed them with, what does the church give you as a representation of the Last Supper? The church gives you, in the remembrance of Jesus Christ, bread and wine. And that's what Melchizedek gave Abraham, bread and wine. The reason why I'm mentioning all these biblical connections is because the Holy Land has always been the Holy Land since the beginning of time, since the time of Abraham. Now, if you are saying the Holy Land had Hebrew traditions only in the time of Abraham, or they started in the time of Abraham, I would have to disagree, because Melchizedek, we don't know how long he's been in the Holy Land up to that point when he met Abraham. Meaning 5,000 years ago, when Melchizedek was there in the Holy Land, the Bible also says he has no beginning or end. So he's like this eternal figure that always dwelled in Jerusalem, in Salem, and he's always known as the one that doesn't have a lineage or doesn't have any parents, and he has no beginning nor end. So he's connected to God himself. He's connected to Jesus Christ, like a pre-transfiguring of Jesus Christ, or he's like a type of Christ, this Melchizedek. So Melchizedek links us to the Holy Land, and it links the Hebrew Abraham to the Holy Land, and it links the rabbis' traditions to the Holy Land because Melchizedek was a priest. Therefore, the Holy Land has always been under Israel. It has always been under the traditions of the Hebrew God, not the Palestinian tradition of the Islamic God. Because the Islamic God, there's a lot of names for the Islamic God. There's like 100 names, perhaps you can correct me. But one of the names means deceiver. But the Holy Hebrew God is not a deceiver. But this Islamic God, Allah, one of his names is deceiver. So that's a red flag for me that this is the time when there's a vacancy for that Islamic God. Lucifer steps in. Satan himself steps in. The red dragon steps in and takes over the Islamic traditions. And we can see it by the fruits of the Islamic traditions, with pedophilia, with child sacrifices and weddings, child weddings. Muhammad got married to a 9-year-old, and we saw this with Hamas, the way they conducted themselves when they entered Israel, how they just massacred innocent people and showed a very devil satanic spirit. So those who have eyes can see, those who have ears can hear, that the Islamic community is closely related to Hamas, and Hamas is closely related to Satan. So you go do the math. Leave Israel alone. Israel is the Holy Land. It always has been the Holy Land. And God, the creator of the universe, where are you going to find God now? God, the creator of the universe, has chosen the Holy Land to be his. God bless you. This is Egypt.